Hi, I'm Dave Suyagian, Global CTO with Workday. Welcome to this session. I'm bringing up this safe harbor statement. If I'm talking about anything in the future, the net of this is make your buying decisions based on current functionality, which we'll always clearly call out. This session is going to be talking about business continuity at scale. And this is a sort of a subtopic of something where you're talking about in several different sessions at Elevate here. Really, the areas we're going to focus on for these sort of true cloud characteristics. One is agile. Another one is resilient and scalable. And then the final one is configurable and durable. So those are the topics we're going to be hitting on today. So what do we mean when we say true cloud? True cloud can mean lots of things. For Workday, it means some fairly specific things. And a lot of this has to go back to our origins, where we first started in the cloud back in 2005. We thought about what we wanted to create and how that would endure long term. For us, true cloud is about serving the enterprise and enterprise needs. It's certainly taking from a lot of what you see in the consumer cloud as well, but it's building upon that and saying, can we serve the enterprise? That's the question we asked when we first started. And there's a bunch of principles that we've applied that really add up to true cloud from Workday's view for software as a service that we provide. So there's lots of examples of where this plays out in our service. Last year, we had 265 billion transactions inside the Workday system. This is a stunning number, especially when you consider that these are not tiny consumer internet type of transactions. These are enterprise transactions, whether it's running a payroll, closing your books, committing to a benefit plan. These are major transactions, and we've run 265 billion of them in the last year. And this is an increase of over 34%. And this is a big part about that business continuity at scale. This is the sort of scale we're talking about when we say enterprise at Workday. That increase has come with certainly some challenges for us as a vendor, and I'll talk to you about how we've responded to those challenges. So what's our promise? The promise that we make and this is about that reliability that we make in our SLA is that we will have 99.7% uptime of the system outside of maintenance windows. And this includes anything that goes down. I mean, this guarantee is about any event that makes it so the service is not available. If it is inside of our data centers, we're going to take responsibility for it. There aren't outs where we can warn you a certain amount of time in advance or anything like that. This is the promise that we make to our customers about the reliability of the system at that scale. That's the promise. What's the proof? What is the actual? Last year, 99.98% uptime across our customer base for the actual uptime outside of maintenance windows for the SLA. This is how far above we're hitting than that SLA. And we take this very seriously. This SLA, if we do fall below that 99.7 for any of our customers, we owe you money. We owe you, you get discounts on your contracts. We take this very seriously. And this is an example of how we're able to deliver with the actuals well above the promise that we make. There is a consistency to that promise as well, because that SLA also has a performance guarantee. It says that 50% of transactions will perform in under 1 second. We are unique in the industry in that the SLA is not only about uptime and guarantees there, but also a performance promise that we're making to our customers, that the user experience will be consistent and that 50% will return in under 1 second. The reality is, and most of us all know this, if you're working with your systems, whether it's enterprise systems or even in the consumer world, something running slow is pretty close to it being down. And having transactions that are running really slowly, consistently, really creates a headache for users. So that's why we put in this performance guarantee, and we think it's something all vendors should be doing. So that's the promise. What's the proof? The actual for transactions under 1 second in the last year, 95.35% of transactions were returning in under 1 second. This is something we're constantly committed to. There's lots of examples of it. One example is in just the last quarter, we had a very large retail customer that was concerned that showing pay slips to their frontline workers was taking too long. It was coming in at 950 milliseconds, which means it was under 1 second. So according to the SLA, we were doing just fine, even for a transaction like the pay slips. But we took them seriously and we went ahead and quartered that. We got it down to 250 milliseconds to be able to respond back with a pay slip. The amazing thing about this, of course, is not only this helped us in terms of making sure we continued to adhere to the SLA with numbers like this, but it didn't apply just for that customer. It was all of our customers that saw those benefits. So we take this very seriously, and we always want to exceed by a large margin any of the promises that we make. So I talked a little bit about scale, about how we've gotten to 265 billion transactions. Well, what has happened to our performance over that time? So if we look down here at the bottom, this is the average response time. And you can see it's 0.5 seconds here. So this is that, sort of that one of those SLA measures. The average response time since 2019, started 2019 through 2020, where we're keeping stats so far, it stayed pretty flat. In fact, I think it's gone down a little bit. I think it's down to 0.30 here, and it was something like, a year or two ago, 0.32 through 0.35, something like that. So it's stayed fairly level, flat, or gone down. What's happened to we'll put another dimension on here, which is the number of UI requests that are coming through. And you can see this number is in billions, so up to 14, 15 billion up here. And you can see this number it always jumps around a little bit. It's jumped around as different customers have gone live, but it has steadily been increasing, especially over 2020. Many of these customers, of course, going live during the pandemic, but usage rates increasing dramatically, while that response time remains flat. This is about that performance at scale, being able to increase our overall load on our services while keeping the performance and the user experience very consistent and very fast. So what do our customers think about this? There's lots of customers that I could point to out there. This is AstraZeneca, of course, in critical services that they provide with the vaccinations, the vaccines during COVID. Their team, they've been on Workday for some time. Mina at their team said the team is excited about being able to leverage this tool now to accelerate how quickly we're able to deploy innovations, and this is a key point, and how quickly we're able to staff roles, how quickly we're able to move talent internally and within our teams. So the functionality, the capabilities, and the innovation that they're getting consistently makes a big difference for AstraZeneca. Another one that I think is really interesting is Craig, who's a friend at Nextdoor. Craig, the head of data, information systems, and trust. He says Workday makes sure that the database, the memory, and the storage are all working. That's not something that even comes into my brain space anymore, as it did with traditional ERP vendors, and Craig had a lot of experience with traditional ERP vendors prior to Workday. Workday allows me to dedicate my time in making better products for my customers and making internal teams more efficient. Thinking of brain space, we've all been in a particular brain space since the pandemic hit. And that, I would say, is down here, down in the base brain, the lizard brain, as it's sometimes called. And that is, we've had a crisis mindset. We've been responding with a survival instinct for ourselves and often our organizations, and having to adapt quickly because of that. And I think that's sort of, people have risen to the challenge, and in many cases pushing their systems to the max inside of organizations because of this crisis mindset. But now is a time to make a shift in that mindset and move things up here, up to the frontal lobe, and get a more agile mindset. And that agile mindset is about innovation and creativity. So shifting from this crisis mindset to this agile mindset is certainly a challenge, but you need systems that can adapt with you, and again, at scale. And a big part of that is making sure that you can take advantage of those innovations. I was talking about the scalability, reliability, That's all great, being able to run at large scale. But what about new innovations that Workday is constantly delivering? Can you move quickly between to take advantage of those? With legacy systems, this is often very difficult. And the reason why is because they have these potholes in the road of trying to move down the innovation highway. And these potholes are upgrades. You have to go through an upgrade to be able to get the benefit of that new innovation. And these upgrades are highly disruptive, like these potholes. In fact, they're so disruptive that most other vendors, they say, you know what, these are so disruptive, I'm going to allow you to move these down the road if you'd like. So we'll change the time of when you hit these potholes, or if you're doing a big upgrade, these sinkholes, and that will make it easier for you to absorb those changes because you'll be able to choose when that disruption happens. And at Workday, we think this is kind of ridiculous. Instead, we say, what if you could just remove the potholes altogether and have these updates happen so seamlessly that they don't disrupt your operations? And talking to our customers, folks like Craig at Nextdoor, you'll hear them say, this doesn't disrupt us. No longer do I need to worry about that painful process, just to take advantage of the innovations I need for that agile mindset. So let's talk for a minute about that agility and being able to take advantage of the capabilities Workday delivers, and then being able to build on top of that as well. And I think the numbers here are really the thing that I want to focus on. So think about, for example, how many custom reports that we have, or reports that we have. So we deliver over 4,000 standard reports in the system. That's wonderful. But in addition, our customers have created more than 4 million custom reports on the Workday system. So yes, we deliver a ton to cover a big chunk of the reporting needs that you have, that we've learned from our customers and built into the system, but we give you the flexibility to be able to create your own custom reports, and our customers have definitely taken advantage of that. What about the next category of area that you often need to configure? And that's business process. And this is something called the business process framework. The F is for framework. The business process framework, we deliver over 750 end-to-end business processes with the systems that we deliver. But in addition, our customers have created 1.2 million custom processes. This is such a critical part of your system, being able to define how a process will function, not the manual steps, but the automated steps, the steps that need to be carried out, the tasks, the integrations, all of this is done inside the business process framework. 1.2 million custom versions of this inside of Workday today. And then finally, the last area is integrations. And integrations, of course, are critical to our customers. We're the core system of record, information about your finances, about your HR, about your people and your money. All of that data needs to be accessed elsewhere. We have over 600 delivered integrations, things like all the benefit providers, third-party payroll systems, all other systems, other cloud systems. We deliver 600 different pre-built templates for integrations. In addition to that, our customers have created over 210,000 integrations on their own, with their on their own, or with the help of consultants that they manage and maintain, in addition to those ones that we deliver. This is a huge number as well, and it's an expected number. There's going to be lots of integrations to other systems. This is the agility, that flexibility that you're looking for, being able to adapt and change over time. And it comes from the flexibility that we build in with delivered functionality, and the flexibility to be agile and choose a different direction for your organization with custom functionality. So for us, that is what the true cloud is about delivering at scale that business continuity, certainly for the crisis that we've all been through, but also for being able to shift and change quickly over time to where we need to go in the future. So again, we've covered, you'll hear about some of this in other sessions, but we've covered these areas: being agile, flexible, being able to build out the functionality, configurable but durable, so you don't have to worry about an upgrade breaking functionality, and resilient and scalable from the numbers you've seen from our SLA. I hope you've enjoyed learning more about how Workday delivers business continuity at scale. Thank you for attending.